Hey Global Village, what's up? Okay, today I want to talk about how many political figures have the unfortunate tendency to have no trouble discovering their moral compass and demonstrating moral outrage when it's politically convenient for them to do so. But the moment it becomes politically inconvenient, they go strangely silent. And so never could this be more evident than with the Jeffrey Epstein files. And it so happens that a channel that I watch quite frequently, Stephen Woodford, did a brilliant little video essay here about that very phenomena. And I think he does a fantastic job of breaking it down and exposing the hypocrisy. So I'm going to link to his full video. It's really worth checking out. I think I'm just going to add in my own words, in my own point of view, that if we look at an inconvenient name that was presented in those files as it pertains to left-wing liberals, then surely it has to be Noam Chomsky. So a channel that I watch quite frequently, which is the Chris Hedges report, in which I genuinely find his work really enlightening and clarifying. I think he has a very clear moral compass and seems to be quite unwavering with his messaging and what his viewpoint is. Nonetheless, recently talked about the Epstein files, and of the people that he discussed who were exposed in those files, strangely absent was any reference to Noam Chomsky. Now, I made a comment in his video and actually raised that very point. I have no idea whether he saw it or not, but nonetheless, I was aware of that fact, because the truth of the matter is, we can point this out when the right-wing conservatives are doing this, and in my opinion it's really obvious why they're doing it, because they have another political agenda and they're just leveraging off the moral outrage to further their own particular goals. However, you have to hold the people on your side of the fence to account as well. But what did happen a little bit after that is another channel called Mint Press News, which occupies a similar space in terms of the political sphere that they exist in. They also did a deep dive into Noam Chomsky, and they did a very clear analysis of exactly what his relationship with Epstein was, and how much did he advocate for Epstein. And it turns out he was a very clear and voracious advocate of Epstein, and was indeed trying to advise him on how to deal with the political fallout, etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, there was no evidence that he actually participated in any of the actual sexual assaults or crimes, but that Noam Chomsky and his wife were clearly beneficiaries of Epstein's wealth, and they participated in the sort of financial favors that he was able to lavish upon them, such as free flights, staying at 5-star hotels, all of that kind of stuff. So they were clearly seduced by Epstein. Now, anyway, getting back to Chris Hedges, when I watched the Mint Press video, the people in that video were very honest about the fact that they were big fans of Noam and of his work, and yet nonetheless, they had to speak honestly about his involvement and how he clearly had been corrupted and seduced by this very manipulative, powerful individual who I think did work for intelligence, probably Mossad. So he was probably much more than just a sex trafficker. I think there was a lot more going on with him. I think he was a lot more dangerous and a lot more powerful than just a sex trafficker. But anyway, getting back to Chris Hedges, Chris just recently put out a little video essay where he analysed Noam Chomsky, and it was pretty short. I will say it was pretty short, but he essentially condemned him. And he condemned by proxy the excuses made by his wife for why they had been supporters and friends of Epstein, pointing out that it was the same type of kind of talking points and excuses that we get from everyone who's trying to claim why they were friends with him and why they were just confused and didn't understand what was really going on at the time, blah, blah, blah. So I've got to give Chris Hedges props for that, because of the fact that he has acknowledged that they were close friends, and that it was clear to me he had a strong reluctance to speak openly about the fact that Noam was in those files. But nonetheless, he did so, and I'm very glad that he did. And I do hold both sides, whether on the left or the right, to the standard that they need to call out these obvious crimes, both in terms of law and morality, equally, whether it's politically useful for them to do so or whether it's politically inconvenient or damaging for them to do so. This demonstrates genuine moral integrity, and there is so little of that in the public discourse that we have in this day and age. Anyway, that's all I got. Do listen to Stephen's video. It's great. He could do a far better of articulating all of this than I probably ever could, and I've probably already spoken too long about it. Bendy out.